There it is. All right, we'll move into the next panel now. Topic is meme movie marketing, theory, and tactics. And I was curious about this, so I looked up meme because I feel like the way we're using meme today is not exactly the way I remember hearing the word meme. And Webster's defines it as an idea, behavior, style, or usage that spreads from person to person within a culture. Well, that's pretty close. It was coined by Richard Dawkins in 1976 in his book, The Selfish Gene. But of course, we all know it today as mostly those amusing little captioned images or GIFs or whatever that travel around mostly on social media. So I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting and spirited discussion with Nick Urban as our moderator, I guess, or host of the conversation. Nick, of course, is the founder and CEO of the Infinity Festival, and he's joined by Mitch Chaiet.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Mark. We're just going to soak in. Are we on? Okay. Hello. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of Infinity Festival. Is everyone enjoying? Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, we're going to talk about some memes. I'm really excited for this. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. I've known Mitch for a bit over a year now. He came to Infinity Festival last year, and he's been a student at UT Austin. And I think we've got some other UT Austin students in the house, which is great. Welcome. A lot of talented students coming out of UT Austin. I was there this summer for the Epic Games event that Aaron Riley was producing there. A lot of fun. But Mitch kind of presented himself to me in a way where I know that he had spoken at South by Southwest on some cool stuff that he was doing with new tech and music. And I used to make a living as a musician, so I was super fascinated by what he was doing with that. He's found himself in some interesting circles in the music world. Then he proceeded to tell me that he's been doing all this research into memes. And I pay attention to politics, and I'm hearing a lot of stuff that's going around, whether it's entertainment or politics or what have you, that kind of fascinates me about this. So when I saw what he was up to with some of his research into stuff that has a little bit of a political bent, that deeply intrigued me, and said we need to be talking and discussing this at this festival where we're talking about storytelling advanced by technology and talking about how people are dealing with content and repurposing it in different ways to spread a message. So with that, I would like to introduce Mitch Chaiet.
Hey. Hey, everybody. My name is Mitch Chaiet. I've been staring at memes for the past 3 years. So at every major university in the US, there exists a Facebook meme group. Most media scholars, to my surprise, don't know about this phenomenon. And being an internet-focused media student, I would whip out Photoshop in class and post funny images in this group. So UT has UT long memes for Hornsey teens, which has 48,000 people in it. So it's a massive, massive group. And there exists one of these at every single major university. So I ended up having the most liked meme at one point in time, which is a strictly platonic relationship between 2 men on the back of a Honda Ruckus. I took a picture of 2 guys in a fraternity on the back of this thing, which is basically a Vespa, and turned it into a romance novel cover because it was funny. So it was interesting. This thing got 8% of UT, 3,500 likes. And that was really interesting. What was even more interesting to me is when people started to take this image, they would download it, they would screenshot it and share it, and they started to propagate it to other university meme groups. So this image has shown up at UW, it's shown up at A&M, and I actually found out an entire group on Facebook dedicated to posting pictures of 2 dudes on various scooters and other things. So I got fascinated by how memes spread through the internet, and I'm here to talk to you about how that impacts movies. So the first thing you'll do when you make a feature film is cut that down to a trailer, anywhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So one of the best ways to market a trailer, YouTube. People are going to see that before they watch a video. Nowadays, however, YouTube has released 5 different ways of cutting a 30-second or a minute-long trailer into 5 or 10-second-long segments and then seeding that to your audience. So here we have the lead-in, the follow-up, the direct shot, the mini-series, and tease, amplify, and echo. All right? These are segments of a trailer you might see as pre-roll ads on a viral video, okay? And what exactly is a viral video? Well, that is a single text hosted on a platform, single video, single piece of content that has some sort of trackable metric, like views, that shoots up in popularity. So in the case of YouTube, you have views, right? Could be retweets, could be likes, whatever you want. Hearts, right? But in the case of YouTube, views up, viral, okay? The way we distribute a viral video is usually through a link. So that video is hosted on YouTube, and you're bringing people to that place, right? So you're gonna tell your friend about it, they're gonna search it, you're gonna text them the link. The point is, it's all in one place. You can track it. And that is inherently different from how a meme travels through the internet. So if viral videos go up, memes go sideways. Memes travel in between platforms, in between devices, and it's a really interesting pattern to understand. So here's a 5-second explanation of how a memetic image comes to be born. Here we have Sarah Reeves, okay? She's a fictional person. She's having a funny conversation with her sister. So iOS iMessage serves as the canvas, in a sense, for creation. This is akin to Photoshop. So John won't go to bed. Do you think it's okay if I let him watch tonight's Game of Thrones? No, he has so much to catch up on. That's funny. So she thinks this is a funny conversation between two people, and she screenshots it. So that image is now saved to her camera roll, okay? We have encapsulated that environment into a new work. That's what the copyright term is. She then opens up her Twitter app thinking, wow, I'm now going to take this conversation between two people and share it to all of my followers. So we're now broadcasting one message to 20,000 people, okay? And she does this by composing a new tweet. She adds the screenshot and she types a little caption which might be considered an establishing shot. She says, last night I was having a conversation with my sister about Game of Thrones. So one of her followers sees this, on their feed, on their device, completely far, far away from where she originally composed it. And somebody screenshots that. So now we have two different images, right? We have the original conversation, which was screenshotted. That was then composed into a new work as the tweet, and then that tweet was then screenshotted. That second screenshot is what ended up circulating all over Reddit, Facebook, and BuzzFeed. So you have two encapsulations of an image, and that's what we call memetic distribution. So every time you see a screenshot of a tweet on Reddit or Facebook, it has traveled memetically. So that brings us, what is a meme? Anyone have a guess?
Graphic that moves.
Okay, graphic that moves. Well, the official academic term of a meme is a medium of distribution, okay? So if you stare at an image, a single image in your feed, and you say, oh, this is a meme, you're technically wrong. A meme is the entire spread of that image through the internet. So every time you share that with somebody, every time you see it, every time it appears on Reddit, that entire spread of the image, that's what we call the meme. So in that case, memes are what we call hypermedia, which means they are inherently a product of the internet, okay? You can't have memes without the internet as we know them. Memes are responsive across devices. You can't take a PS2 game and play it on your Apple Watch. However, both of those have screens. Even my gas station pump in Texas has a screen, so you could put a meme on all three of those screens and it would be just as funny. Memes are kind of like laptop stickers, okay? So we interact and we share and we download them, like you would put a laptop sticker on, right? You're gonna interact with the online communities that you identify with, the experiences you enjoy, and the people and groups that you are a part of. So that's how people identify and download memes. So what that brings us to is when you're gonna start to use memes as an advertising tool, view people as vectors for propagation of the meme, okay? You're not gonna show them an ad and expect them to do something. You want them to start sharing the meme, okay? So Here we have a post. Now, this is one of my favorite memes, and it is a screenshot of an Instagram post by user Simple Dorito. She has taken a screenshot of a viral cheddar video showing the Da Vinci surgery robot doing surgery on a grape. So the caption in the video says they did surgery on the grape, and her comment says they did surgery on a grape. This right here is the source. It's called the OP, or the original post. This is where it kind of started, in a sense. People are already starting to say they did surgery on a grape. However, we have two examples of where this particular image spread through the internet. So here is a screenshot I found, okay? And we can see right in the middle, we have her Instagram post, Simple Dorito. So somebody has taken that Instagram post, and they've put it on Snapchat, because if you look over the grape, you see the Snapchat bar. Then somebody screenshotted that from Snapchat, put it on Facebook. Then somebody screenshotted that Facebook post, put it on Twitter, and now it's circulating within WhatsApp. All the while, people just keep adding they did surgery on a grape. So if we look at the original post, we can see that it's traveled, in a sense, from that original Instagram post all the way to WhatsApp. Now this screenshot shows the exact same post. If you look under this like bar, you'll see Simple Dorito. But it's an entirely different path of propagation. We have iMessage, 2 Instagrams, another different Snapchat. This person added an emoji, Tumblr, Facebook. Yes, whoever said Facebook, thank you. All right, so this is an example of how, a single post can travel through the internet in different ways. So when you're creating memes, the most successful ones combine a fantasy situation with an everyday real-world experience, okay? And what that means, we can take a look at Netflix's Bird Box. So this particular image from the film, out of 90 minutes of footage, became a meme. People have started to take this fantasy world and recontextualize it into their everyday lives. And what's important to note is we have 3 different situations here. 3 different people have used the exact same ingredient to create 3 different memes. So here we have, could you see us being together? No. Who keeps ordering all of these Amazon packages? Not Sandra Bullock. And you didn't see the dishes in the sink? No. It's important to understand that this particular frame, you really don't need any context from the film to understand what these 3 people are using it for. It's kind of just a self-explanatory image.
And Mitch, did Netflix have anything to do with this? Were they actually propagating their own memes, or was this just the community at large that was playing with this?
So people viewed this, tweeted about it. That image kind of just grew from the fire. You can't predict it,
okay.
Which is funny. To the point that a proxy audience of people who only saw memes about Bird Box started to piece together the plot line. So here you have some guy with a plot in his head who wrote a book, which Netflix bought, which people saw through the internet, and then tweeted about. And then you have this entire proxy audience that's only seen it through memes on Twitter, which is insane. All right, so one of the big issues with a news feed style format is determining when you're presented with an image, whether it's real or fake. We have a hard time telling the difference between satire and actual reality nowadays, to the point we have a whole election to talk about. That phenomenon is called pose law. And pose law refers to the situation where you're staring at an image trying to determine whether it's real, satire, fake, or parody. Here we have a screenshot of the real McDonald's Facebook page. And you can tell for 3 reasons. 1, we have a blue check mark. 2, it has 80 million likes, which is hard to recreate. And 3, for a gigantic food corporation, it has 1.6 out of 5 stars. That's really good. Right? So we have 3 different examples of how this thing is real.
Fake news.
Here, we have McDonald's. This is a parody of McDonald's on Facebook, which lists itself as a portable toilet rental in Philadelphia with 80,000 likes. However, to the average person, because they share basically the same profile and cover photo, it's really hard to tell. So now y'all are gonna get the chance to try this out. 3 of these posts are real McDonald's Facebook posts. 3 of these are from McDonald's, a parody using the exact same style and imagery from McDonald's. So I'll give you guys 30 seconds and keep it to yourself, but try to determine which is real and which is fake. All right. No, don't shut them up.
The winner gets a beer after the festival tonight.
Yeah, I'll buy you one. So come up with your numbers, 1 through 6. 3 of these are real, 3 of these are fake. Okay, we got a bunch of different numbers here. These are the ones. These are the ones, people. 2, 3, and 5 are the fake ones. How many of y'all were wrong? Okay, y'all are lying. We have the Heinz Mega Packet for $9.99, only at McDonald's. The new McCorn and Shrimp Burger. And you told us you didn't like disposable plastic drinking straws. We listened. Now all of our straws will be made from 100% ivory. Okay, so this is an example of how it can be hard sometimes to distinguish from real and fake. And so to explain the 4 steps of creating a successful meme ad, I'm going to take an excerpt from my thesis, Engineering Inflammatory Content. Congress releases 3,500 Facebook ads used for disinformation, these being 2, okay? These are memes, in a sense, and we're going to analyze how they were created in order to kind of confuse and tempt people into liking a page. So it gets a little serious. Let's take a demographic, though. Older African American women. Okay, that's quite broad. We have 4 steps to creating a successful meme ad or ad campaign. First, we're going to look at what this demographic likes. We're going to look at the pages and the hashtags that they engage with on social media regularly. And then second, we're going to extract the content and style and vernacular from those sources. So, I follow different pages than she does, right? We can look at what appears, what style of image appears in this demographic's newsfeed. Third, we're going to kind of take that style and maybe even some of the actual content and remix it with our own first-party content that we own. And we're going to embed that content into what these people are already looking at so it blends in. And fourth, we're going to redistribute our edited content back to them under Poe's Law so they won't know that they're being advertised to. Here we have a BuzzFeed article, okay? It's titled, "These Stunning Women Are Shutting Down a Ridiculous Beauty Double Standard." The subtitle, "Embrace Your Silver Crown, Queens." This article is targeted at older African American women. The entire listicle is 30 images of older African American older African American women with silver hair. So we take 2 example images, okay? Gray-haired women are the absolute epitome of elegance and sophistication. And any questions? So BuzzFeed, being a somewhat credible news source, has actually attributed at the bottom where they've taken these images. However, because this is the internet, if you look closely at the image on the left, you'll see on her shoulder there's a watermark. So she has taken ownership of that image, even though BuzzFeed attributes it to her, okay? You can see it says Natural Silver Sista, which is, I'm assuming, her Instagram handle, okay? It's right there in gray. It's really hard to see. So we take these 2 images, we take the title, we take the subtitle, we put them into a square image, and we create a fake brand, okay? It's a parody in a sense. We know that African American women might engage with a brand called Black Lives Matter, which is authentic. So we create a fake brand called blackmatters.us. It's very similar, but just so slightly connected that you couldn't tell the difference, right? So here's a real ad targeting Martin Luther King, African American culture, African American history, and Malcolm X. They have taken content originally devoted to a certain demographic, owned it by recreating the article into a meme, and then retargeted that under a brand that they own, targeting that same demographic. And my question for you here, staring at this image, this is how it appears in your newsfeed. So if we have the Black Matters logo up at the top left, what's the point of having the Black Matters logo right there at the bottom of the image? So the whole idea, people are going to screenshot this who see the ad. They're paying to put it in front of a certain demographic. So then people are going to take that image and start sharing it in a peer-to-peer manner under strong ties. So that's a social networking term for people that you really enjoy and that Google doesn't have access to. So your group chats, your private messages, things like that. So the hope is that older African American women are going to start sharing that with other older African American women. They're going to see that brand and then go like it on Facebook.
And I think, Mitch,
Yes.
this kind of gets back to where we were talking about this a while ago, that you were saying this about Poe's law earlier, but using people as vectors rather than targets, so to speak. And I feel like this is the perfect case in point to tell that story, which is the fact that you're understanding that the behavior of the culture of people who are sharing these images, as opposed to saying we're trying to advertise and connect with someone with a message. You're saying that we understand the cultural values of a group, and so we're repositioning something in a way that we can shift around legally and make happen, and people are just going to take it and run with it, and it's too much to grab a hold of for anyone legally to follow after or to touch in any way, and so it becomes culturally appropriated versus someone being advertised to with a message.
Correct. It's side to side rather than top down.
Yeah.
And Deadpool, actually, Deadpool 2 effectively used this in their marketing. So when Deadpool 2 was released, the studio, the official studio marketing team, had this fantastic idea. They were going to recreate Deadpool 2 posters in the style of other major films. So here we have Deadpool 2 as a rom-com on the right. Deadpool 2 is Jaws. Detective Pikachu in the style, another Ryan Reynolds film, which, and Deadpool on a unicorn in IMAX 3D. None of these are the official marketing poster, but they're all from the studio. However, we take a look at Tumblr. We find a post by Impossible Rebel Blaze with a photo of a Deadpool 2 poster. And she says, or the story purports, the movie theater never received their original poster, so they actually created this one from scratch. And the reactions here, they can't tell the difference. If you pass this off as an authentic poster, no one would have questioned you. I honestly thought this was a legitimate poster, and that is such a Deadpool move that I thought it was real. Recently, though, Joker overtook Deadpool 2 as the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. Now, this is a movie that has had multiple iterations. This is a character that goes back decades. So the meme base for Joker, as it exists today, is quite large. And so we're going to kind of jump in as the marketing team for Joker. And here are 5 tactics that they can use to market Joker through memes. First, we can build character identity through memes. So these 2 images have nothing to do with the Joker. One is from Anonymous, which is a bunch of hackers online that post really edgy quotes with the Guy Fawkes mask. So this particular image is authentic to that audience. And here we have an image from It saying, clowns are so friendly and funny. If you engage with these images from an official Joker account, they're thematically similar to what, if Joker liked memes, he might look at these. So that can build brand identity and build purchase intent among those communities if you share them, if you propagate them, and if you engage with them. Second, you can actually brand existing character content. So if you're coming out with a sequel or a new movie, all of these images already exist. All of these images, there's another edgy quote, but this time it's on the Joker. People are already sharing these images. These images already exist. So simply by branding them with your new Joker brand, you can build brand awareness among those people. Third, this is the doozy. If you're sitting on 90 minutes of content, you have a lot of footage. And that footage is valuable in the sense that your audience already looks at memes, and you can take those images, insert them, and embed them into what they're already looking at and redistribute them. So here are 4 images I've taken from the internet and inserted Joker screen caps into them. Being called cute all the time, but you're still single. When your coworkers keep quitting, but you're in it for the long haul. See you later. And if you don't let me do this thing, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the day. Well, I thought it was going to bother me, but it really hasn't. So all of these are quotes from the new Joker film. And we've recontextualized images that people already enjoy in scenarios that people are already engaging with to your film using the content that you already have. And the moral of the story here is if an image from your film does become a meme, like Joker dancing on the stairs, then encourage it, propagate it, share it, make your own damn memes and brand them. Engage with the community and do not issue a copyright strike. Please don't do that. All right, I've been Mitch. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you. Cool.
Mark, do we have time for a couple? Okay, cool.
So,
First of all, are there any questions from the audience?
yeah.
If you do run into copyright issues,
Oh, what? There you go. Yes.
how do you avoid running into copyright issues or cease and desist along the road?
It is a gigantic gray area. There's a content copyright lawyer, Evan Spiegel, right here. But the whole point is that you can't really track a meme, so you can't really persecute a meme. You can't really also do that effectively.
But you know how you said they have little print on the collar? There's certain things that Google or they can find and say, hey, this was mine.
Yeah, so if you're creating an image, you should watermark it in a way, and that's, I think, the best ownership that you can have, because anywhere you can reproduce an image, even if you disable right-click and saving, somebody can still screenshot it. So it's important to start creating content that takes advantage of that, I think, rather than...
So we also had a blockchain track at this
yeah.
festival where we were talking about how you can take ownership over images that get spread around the media. We were talking about this as well over a lunch where tell us about how blockchain applies. For everyone in this room, I don't know how much you guys know about blockchain and get into that space, but basically you're creating an opportunity where you can attach digital data to an image, for instance, that shows an original owner of a pixel or an image or anything digital. And we had talked about this in terms of can people create memes and monetize them on the blockchain, because it can always be tracked back down to the first person who created something. And do you want to share a little bit about where that discussion went with why that does or doesn't
Yeah.
work?
So I interviewed a friend of mine who runs a meme page with 100,000 people following it, all original content. And he said the biggest difference between a meme page and an influencer is that people that create memes don't care about monetizing them, largely. An influencer is going to get paid for posts, but people who create memes are doing that outside of the paid earned, whatever, shared content cycle. And that's what's really interesting to me, is that it's more peer-to-peer. There's that lack of monetization, and the fact that you can just go screenshot an image and use it
Yeah.
that inherently will mess up the blockchain. I have never seen a meme on the blockchain before.
Right.
But I'd imagine it won't work well.
Yeah. Which also gets to one last question that I have, which is the fact that a lot of people that are here at this festival are either working with the studio, work in marketing, advertising, you name it, and so they're looking at ways to take something like a meme and use it to their advantage to market and get stuff out there. You had the #1 meme in the UT system at one point. Is that replicatable?
I wouldn't say it's replicatable. It's like trying to predict who the next big rapper is going to be. Like, it's kind of out there. But the big takeaway is that you're not advertising to people. We have the term meme economy, which there's an entire subreddit dedicated to stocks in memes as they go up and down in popularity. And that's what's really interesting to me, because if, Disney releases a meme, they're not releasing a film that they own to an audience. They're participating in a culture that already exists as a level player, which is what's really interesting about it. It's kind of like the Blues Club for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think Trump is the meme chief influencer?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Sorry.
follow up to that. Who do you think can match that?
Oh man. Oh. Well, Bernie's pretty memeable. I don't think he has the level of rage, because outrage is the #1 thing that gets people to propagate things on social media. You show somebody that pisses somebody off, you're going to get a comment that's bigger than your phone screen from somebody else, and that's kind of what's funny. That's what he plays to. And, Trump tweets in the morning, then he owns the entire news cycle.
Yes.
This is what Doug Schoen talked about yesterday,
Exactly.
and he's able to control that news. But, he is as much of a meme lord in the nastiest sense as anyone else, and that's terrible and effective.
This has been super interesting. We are up for time, but if you guys have any more questions for Mitch, we're going to go ahead and take them outside after this so that
Yeah.
we can keep our schedule moving. But thank you, Mitch Chaiet.
And thanks, Nick.
Yeah.